Hey everybody, Coach Stacy Lynn here. So it's been a few days since I've been in here, and I decided today that I would come in here. I just got home from pickleball, and I was hoping to play pickleball, and turned out there was a tournament. I didn't know it. And I also, some of you know, I review products on Amazon Vine, and I just recently got this lipstick. And I don't know if you're aware, but these new lipsticks are all the rage, where what they do is you put it on and your lips change color. So I've never used this before, so I thought I would put this on at the beginning. Look at that. How cool is that, huh? I have no lipstick on, so I'm gonna do this, see what happens. I have no idea. It feels very smooth though, not burning at all. Oh, and as you can see, my lips are already starting to turn color, and this is clear, so that's kind of cool. So I will be reviewing this, but wanted to let you know that I read something this morning that I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to pull up here on my phone so I can read it, because it is the holiday season. In fact, we're in the middle of celebrating Hanukkah right now. Those of you who celebrate it like I do. I have my menorah right there behind me. See that, where my finger is? That's my menorah. And I've received some anti-Semitic comments on this page as well. Not surprising, given the rise of anti-Semitism. But this morning I read this, and this was posted by a psychologist by the name of Dr. Carl Benzio. I don't know if he's a psychiatrist. I can't remember. I think he might be a psychiatrist. But anyway, he posted this graphic, which you can see. It says 61% of Americans report experiencing sadness or loneliness during the holiday season, and 37% would skip the holidays altogether if they could. So I want you to note something here, right? Note number one, that 61%, so that's 6 out of 10 people celebrate or feel lonely or sad during the holidays. Yesterday, I was in a group setting with a number of women, and the women in that group were very diverse in terms of their backgrounds. And there were a couple of women in there who were widows. They were widows. There were a couple of people in there. One I could tell had just come out of an abusive relationship. There were some young people in there. And everybody had a different story to share. And in fact, one of the stories that was shared was about share a good, happy Christmas memory. And I knew that I was going to have to do that before I was in this group. And I really couldn't think of much. And it wasn't until I started listening to some of these women talk that I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I have one. you know. And then this 37% thing says here would skip the holidays altogether if they could. So that's almost 4 in 10 people. That's almost 40% of people would just like skip the holidays. So I want you to know that if you are in that 61% or that 37%, you are not alone. I'm in both of those. I'm in both of those categories, personally. This time of year is difficult for me for a lot of reasons. But what I will say is that there are ways that you can learn and you can overcome the sadness that you might feel, or things like that. And so that's part of what I want to tell you today. What I want to tell you today is, number one, you're okay. Number two, you are definitely not alone. There are a ton of people who are in your shoes. In fact, more people than are feeling the way that you are. My encouragement to you would be to get off social media completely if you can, for a few days anyway, because people only post the good, right? Most people don't post the bad, unless, of course, they are some type of drama king or queen. And there are some of those out there. And they get clicks, right? So that's one thing I would say. Get off social media, except my channel, people. You can stay here. Stay here on my channel. Anyway, so that would be one thing. The second thing I would suggest is doing something really nice for yourself. So I know a lot of times at Christmas time, there are new movies. There's no shame in going to a movie by yourself. Or today, you could just turn on Netflix or whatever, and you could just take some time to yourself. If you are in a situation where you're kind of forced to have to go to a family gathering that you really don't want to go to, my number one recommendation is set a boundary with your time. I had to do this with my mother because my mom was super uber toxic. And I learned this 30 plus years ago, that if I was going to go over to her house, then I needed to have a get there time, and I'm leaving, I'm out of there time. So it is completely okay to set those boundaries and then keep them and leave, because you have a right to take care of yourself. And a lot of you are in situations where you feel guilty if you actually take care of yourself. And I'm going to tell you something, that's false guilt. It's false guilt. Guilt is only necessary if you've done something wrong. And taking care of yourself is never wrong. So don't feel guilty, right? Just suck that up and let it go. You're like, nope, I'm taking care of myself. And, we all know that old adage, look, put on your oxygen mask first and take care of yourself, because if you don't, you can't take care of anybody else. Okay? So that is completely okay. So set that time limit and all that. And then the other thing is, if you're like me, one of the things that I've had to do is create new traditions and new things with my family, which just happens to be my husband, that we incorporate in order to have fun. And so I think it was a year or two ago, I suggested to my husband at Thanksgiving, around that time, I said, hey, why don't we every day until Christmas or the New Year, whatever it was, why don't we watch an actual Christmas movie every day? It didn't matter. It didn't matter what time it was. We just made a point that we were going to watch that movie, whatever it was. And for us, it was funny because we don't normally watch TV. And so to actually intentionally go and try to find a Christmas movie to literally watch every day. So that was literally like 30 movies that we watched, Christmas movies. And I have to tell you something. For me, it actually did put me in a better mood. And you can only have so much Candace Cameron Bure, people. I'm just saying it. That's just just a thing. There's so many romantic comedies, Christmas movies. I mean, sometimes you really just need to watch Ernest Saves Christmas, which was our go-to before that. Anyway, all that to say, it is completely fine and okay to create your own thing. Another thing my husband and I have done, and this has actually really strengthened for me my whole enjoyment of the holiday season, which I've learned about Hanukkah. Now, Hanukkah is it's an amazing holiday as a Christian. If you learn and you understand what it's really about, it can really deepen and strengthen your faith. Because in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, we even see Yeshua, Jesus, celebrating Hanukkah. And I know there's some debate. I read that recently, and it's like, There's no debate. It's in scripture. He attended the Festival of Lights. Okay, so, and I will tell you, for me, celebrating Hanukkah has reminded me again of two main things. Number one, the persecution of the Jewish people. And number two, the provision and the miraculous work of God. And without Hanukkah, there would never be a Christmas. And the simple solution to that, in understanding that, is that if the Maccabees didn't stand up to the evil king during that time and say, look, we're not going to let you desecrate our temple anymore, then the Messiah would have never been born, because the whole goal of that wicked king was to wipe out the Jewish people. And if you know your Old Testament, that's what it's about, really. God established the chosen nation of Israel, the chosen people. And then throughout history, Israel has disobeyed God, they've obeyed God. Then they disobeyed God, then they obeyed God. And then they disobeyed, they asked for a king. They did this, they blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, poof, here's the Messiah. And after the birth of the Messiah, Jesus, even Herod wanted him dead. And today, the persecution of the Jews today, again, I believe the deeper spiritual and most obvious reason behind that is, if you wipe off Israel off the face of the earth, then Yeshua can't come back the second time. So learn a little bit more about the holiday itself and then enjoy it. Like, this year I bought a dreidel, and I'm going to learn about the dreidel game, which is a Jewish game. Apparently it's a gambling game. Kids use chocolate or candy or whatever to do. I'm not going to gamble, but I am going to learn about it, because the holidays are supposed to be fun, right? I mean, so you can create your fun, and you have that choice. You have that power, people. You have the power to make a choice to make it better. And you also have the power to make a choice to wallow and to whine and to complain and talk about how horrible everything is all over the place. But my advice to you would be, if you're going to wallow and complain, limit the time, acknowledge it, and then go, okay, I've acknowledged it, now I'm going to go and I'm going to have a good time. And as I always say at the end of every video, unless I forget, is I hope you have a better day. That is the point, right? That's the point, people. And I want to let you know it's December 17th. If you are interested in coaching with me, I want to let you know, till the end of the year, give a donation of any amount, up to 3 sessions. I will be more than happy to coach you. I'll give you the equipping profile, and you and me can talk. And if you don't, just keep watching and let me know how I can continue to minister to you and bless you during this time in your life. All right, so there you go. I will be back again with another video. And until then, say it with me, people. I hope you have a better day.